What's going on, YouTube? It's Option 1 yet again. Wow, what a crazy week it's been. I went from 9 subscribers to 30 right now, and 2 of my videos have 600 combined views. That's pretty freaking crazy. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say that it's because I'm super skillful and charismatic. It's clear you guys want Umbrella Corps content, so let me continue with Umbrella Corps content. I have a couple things coming up, a little bit of news. First of all, we're not going to talk about Resident Evil 7 on this channel. I am a Resident Evil fan, but if you watched the first video, I'm not into classic Resident Evil. Let's keep all Resident Evil 7 talk somewhere else. We're here to talk about Umbrella Corps. Another piece of news, I have decided to tentatively do a midnight stream of Umbrella Corps. I did get my pre-order put in finally, and a big shout-outs, big, huge thank you and shout-outs to my man TheoBear09, great viewer who's been with my stream channel a long time, who made it possible for me to pick up that pre-order. So thank you, dude. This one goes out to you. I normally don't do midnight releases because usually there's a billion other people doing midnight releases of the same game. Most of those people don't actually stick with the game. Considering this is Umbrella Corps, and I think it's pretty under the radar, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of competition. So why not? If you guys want to see me stream Umbrella Corps midnight release on Monday, well, technically Tuesday at midnight, you can catch me on twitch.tv/option1soul, exactly like the YouTube title. Huge thank you to everybody who's been liking, watching, following, all that stuff. So let's get into it. It's hard to talk about this without sounding racist. That's a horrible way to preface anything, but it's something that we need to talk about. Now, I had said before in my first episode, the esports scene in Japan is getting a lot bigger. I really believe that this game is more geared towards Japanese and European players than North American players. I really think that Capcom knows the American market is not really into this. From what I've seen, the Japanese market is really ready to accept this. Once I pre-ordered on my PS4, I went and looked, and there's already 40 communities that are geared toward Umbrella Corps. Of these 40 communities, there's maybe 6 or 7 that are not true Umbrella Corps communities. A few other various Capcom communities that were tossed into the Umbrella Corps title. There were 11 Japanese communities. Even if you consider 11 out of 40 communities, that's a 25% right there. Long story short, Japan is up in this. For those of you who don't know me very well, I actually lived in Japan. I worked there about a decade ago. I was a teacher, and I loved it there. So again, some of this may sound a little racist. I don't mean it to sound racist. It's quite the opposite of racism. It's not stereotyping. It's grounded in my personal experience. I love Japan. I have so many great memories of wandering around Osaka looking for rare Super Famicom games and rare PC Engine parts. Since coming back, I've had an even larger chance to play games with Japanese players. In fact, it seems like almost anywhere I go, I'm running into Japanese players. Part of that has to do with the fact that I like to stay up late, of course. While most North American people are going to bed, most Japanese people are getting online. Anyways, remember that this is put out by Capcom Osaka. I've seen numerous Japanese streams. The point is, this game, in my belief, is geared towards a Japanese audience. And I really think Japan is hot for this game. This game is being put out by Capcom. Capcom is very clear about how they feel on esports. They love it. If you don't know about the Capcom Pro Tour, you need to stop what you're doing and find out. They've turned Street Fighter into a global multi-million-dollar tournament. I don't know that they're approaching Umbrella Corps for another game in the Pro Tour, but what if they are? That would be pretty crazy, right? Another reason why Japan is extremely ripe for this, there's one major difference between Japanese gamers and American gamers. American gamers are extremely entitled. I'm sure most of you know, and if you are entitled, you're one of these people that I'm talking about, don't feel bad. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm sure you guys know, the trailers for Umbrella Corps have received unbelievable backlash. Japan is not the same. I can't personally say I know what kind of fan interaction Japan has with gamers, and there's a couple reasons behind that. So we can't see exactly Japan's relationship with developers and publishers. As far as I understand it, Japanese gamers are really not as picky as American gamers. Japanese gamers are excited for Umbrella Corps. They want Umbrella Corps. This is exactly what Japan wants right now, which leads to the ultimate reason why I'm talking about this in this video. Like it or not, guys, North America, maybe a small minority of the players That's good and it's bad. It's good because games don't need to rely on the American market. Games should be able to be global. But it's bad because a lot of American gamers act a certain way in game, and that's very different than how Japanese players play the game. It may create some friction, and it may create some opportunities for bigotry. For example, I was playing a game a while back. I don't even remember what it was. Now, my PSN profile has Japanese listed as one of my languages because I speak some Japanese. I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but I do have Japanese friends. And of course, I got a message. And what did it say? The most dirty, horrible, racist bullcrap I've ever heard someone say. Something along the lines of, I wish Hiroshima killed you all. We'll leave it at that. This sort of stuff is not uncommon. What I want to do is prevent that sort of situation. I want to educate American players how Japanese players think, how they play in game, how to respond to them, and what's the best thing you can do in those situations to avoid those racist types of scenarios. If you're willing to be racist online, you're certainly willing to be racist to someone's face, because video games are basically real life without any consequences. The more you extend that racist stereotype, the worse name you're going to give to American players. The bigger the division becomes between American and Japanese, or American and Brazilian, or American and European players, the more you feed into that stereotype, the worse it's going to get for everybody. So, what does playing with Japanese players look like? First things first, it's probably going to be laggy. I like to think my internet's pretty great, and it is, but most people don't have internet as good as I do. That leads to a lot of frustrating situations because usually it's the person with the worst connection that has the more favorable trades. If your internet's not that great, get some people from your region to play with you so that you have a better chance of being matched with players from your region. To be honest, this is not a new thing to anybody. There's going to be lag playing from Michigan to California, lag from California to the United Kingdom. This is not new, but I am saying be ready for it. Secondly, understand that Japanese people are xenophobic. People from all over the world are xenophobic. Americans are xenophobic. Japanese players especially are xenophobic. That means that they are not in a position where they want to be nice to you. There are Japanese players in the world, just like there are American players, that are open, honest, and cool people, and they just want to make friends, period. You may run into some of those. Chances are, if you're playing with Japanese people, those people are going to be few and far between. Don't expect to play with Japanese players. And if you get matched up with Japanese players, expect them to mute you in their party chat or mute you in their game chat and go right along pretending like you don't exist. As far as understanding the Japanese mindset, American players play games to relax or unwind. To most American players, video gaming is entertainment. It's like watching a movie or watching TV. It's something to do at the end of the day to forget about everything else. Japanese players approach gaming as a hobby, as a pursuit. It's something that they do for fun, yes, but just like any hobby, whether it's stamp collecting or archery, they pursue that with the same amount of dedication and energy as anything else, as a job, as a pastime. And that's what makes Japanese gamers so amazing. Too long didn't read. Japanese players play to win. They don't play just for the event of playing. And winning equates with fun. This translates into a play style that will put off most American people. Me personally, I've been put off by this play style plenty of times. There are moments when I've been playing with Japanese players and shaking my head. Why do they act this way? It's so not fun. Yet to them, that's all the fun. A Japanese gamer's mindset is to win the quickest, easiest, simplest, most predictable, and repetitive way possible. Understand it like this. Whatever the strongest gun is, they're going to pick it. Whatever the most reliable strategy is, they're going to use it. Whatever the most unfair position for them to camp or ambush you in or flank you from, they're going to use it. They will not teabag you. They will not BM you. They will not send you messages saying, yeah, noob. They will just beat you over and over and over again. It will infuriate you. This is rough because as American players, we play for all kinds of different reasons. We play because we want to unlock new content. We play because we want to use some gun that feels right to us, but is not necessarily the best gun. We play for fun. We play to do silly things and try crazy strategies that are funny and trolly. And Japanese players do not do that, for the most part. Expect when you're playing with Japanese players to get frustrated over these sorts of things. And it will frustrate you. It frustrates me. It's not bad. It's not wrong. In fact, it's maybe potentially the best strategy possible. Then the question becomes, how do you beat a Japanese player? Firstly, forget about your racism. because they certainly don't care. You don't need to go into a match thinking these Japanese players, these guys suck, I hate the way they play. Don't do that. Just go in thinking these guys are playing for keeps. I need to play for keeps as well. Don't send them messages. Don't teabag them because they won't understand or they don't give a frick. Don't try to outplay them with their weapons because that's not going to work. Trust me. The best thing you can do to beat a Japanese player is simply be a better player. The one weakness Japanese players have is they're predictable. If you know how they're going to act, because they tend to do the same things over and over, you can outplay them. There are lots of North American strategies, what we might call lame strategies, that can beat them. Camping. Well, I don't encourage camping. If you know that they're going to camp in a certain space, you can out-camp them, try and force them to move. You can play random, try to do something so unique and different they'll have a hard time adjusting. One aside is, if it's too laggy, if you're playing with someone and your internet connection's not good enough, and it's clear they're from overseas, and you don't have the ability to shoot and hit them, but it seems like every shot they shoot and hit you, leave. Don't wait till the last round and then rage quit. If it's clear from the first game, it's okay to leave. There's nothing dishonorable about leaving a game that the connection is too bad to play. It looks scrubby, but getting angry about someone else's connection and then forcing that anger on the next foreign player you run into is just going to make the situation worse. And soon enough, every Japanese player is your enemy, and we've now established a race barrier. Again, the best thing you can do is play smarter, get better, play with a team that uses communication. You can beat Japanese players. Unfortunately, being better at the game is something we don't have enough time to talk about today. That is the point of Umbrella Corps 101, to teach you how to be a better player. This was just a preface. Understand going into this, guys, that Japanese players are going to be common. Leave a comment if you have something to agree or disagree about. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. I love you guys. I'm looking forward to more Umbrella Corps content. If you guys want to check out the midnight stream, check me out, twitch.tv/option1soul. Until next time, guys.